All right. Well, thank you everybody who was on the line today for today's partner perspective with Revlifter. We're happy to be joined by Jim Harriman. He's going to present We Are Reimagining E-commerce Offers via Real-Time Personalization. If anybody has any questions during the presentation, feel free to submit them through your questions tab on the GoToWebinar toolbar, and we'll be addressing those questions at the very end of the presentation. Jim, you're all set, buddy.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you everyone for taking the time out of your Friday afternoon to listen to me talk about Revlifter. Always love doing these webinars with Pepperjam, and we tend to have a great turnout and lots of good follow-up questions and engagement. So I'm going to take you through a little bit about who we are and what we do and how we do it. And if, again, as Sean said, if there are any questions, feel free to ask them towards the end of the presentation, and I will be happy to address. One thing that I want to, I guess, note before I get started is Revlifter is currently in 2021 planning. So a lot of what you see here and a lot of what we talk about is kind of under that premise. So if any of you are planning 2021 initiatives, Q1, Q2, and beyond for that matter, that's kind of what we're talking about here as well. So keep that in mind. One of the reasons why I love working with Pepperjam is because of our technology partnership with Pepperjam. Most partners that work with us, in order to use our technology, they have to install a tag, our tag, on their site for us to deliver personalized technology to customers as they're shopping online. That's completely unnecessary with Pepperjam because of the global tag. Our technology is actually already integrated with the PJ platform. What that means for brands and for advertisers is if you want to work with us and use our personalization technology, we simply work with our Pepperjam point of contact, and our technology is activated. There's no integration, no installation required to work with us through the Pepperjam network. So it's a really great turnkey solution to deliver personalized content to consumers as they shop on your brand's website. At the end of the day, we strive to help retailers personalized content, incentive, deals, offers in real time and at a one-to-one ratio with the consumer, really to try to get the customer to do more, not leave the site, and to increase the loyalty between the customer and the publisher, ultimately driving incremental sales, of course. We've been around since 2017, so we're still kind of the new kids on the block. We have offices based in London and Atlanta. I should say had offices based in London and Atlanta. We're all remote at the moment. We have about 115 clients globally, and we have won about 14 awards to date in the past 2.5 years. I'm going to make sure that this presentation is available to everybody on the presentation or in the webinar. So if you want to look through some of these and you'll find the publications that illustrate what it was we won these awards for, you're more than welcome to. But we're pretty proud of the 14 awards that we've won to date, and we hope to win a few more. Our 2021 partnership goal is pretty simple. We want to exceed all of our partners' expectations by increasing average order value, conversion rate, the value of a customer, and customer loyalty through the use of our proprietary technology and through the use of our client services teams. All of our partnerships that we have are assigned account teams here at Revlifter. So you're not operating our technology on your own. You're really not doing anything on your own. You work with us as you would work with a normal publisher. And our account teams basically take care of all the execution. So again, turnkey solution. We just need to know what your goals and your strategies are. We were born back in 2017 out of a very basic problem that I think everyone on this call is probably very, very familiar with. Customers add a product or a service to their shopping cart. They leave, they go to Google, they search for some type of trademark plus term, and they usually end up on a more traditional affiliate site. Not to marginalize traditional affiliate sites by any means. There's a lot of value in coupon and deal sites and traditional affiliate. But where we come into play is we want to try to get that customer to realize that the best value that they're going to get from a brand is right then and there. And we also want to use that opportunity to build a stronger relationship between the brand and the customer versus inadvertently building a stronger relationship between the customer and a third party. So what we did was create a product called RevPage. It's the world's, as far as we know, the world's leading and first first-party personalization e-commerce page for brands. And what it does, it's a page that lives in the brand's domain. The content of that page is powered by our technology. And when a customer leaves your site and goes to Google and searches for, some type of trademark plus term, in the example here, New Balance coupons, our page, which again is on the brand's domain, shows up organically in the search results. And if the brand wishes, they can drive trademark plus traffic to it as well. So it shows up in position 1 under SEM. When a customer clicks through these links and lands on the page that our technology is sitting on, the content of that page is dynamically updated in real time based on where that customer is located, the weather outside, what product they added to their shopping cart, or products they added to their shopping cart before they left, a number of other factors. What we've learned over time is the average cart boost and average conversion rate increase is about 20% when we benchmark our page against pages that brands had previously driven traffic to. And organically, these pages tend to rank either 1 or 2. So these pages work really well if a brand doesn't have anything in existence for SEM right now for the value shopper, so to speak. Works exceptionally well if a brand already has a coupon and deal page that quite frankly isn't doing anything. A lot of these pages are static pages. And sometimes we simply just take over an existing page and just publish the content and personalize it based on goals and objectives. I do want to note that this tends, for obvious reasons, this tends to be coupon and deal focused, but it doesn't have to be coupon and deal focused. We have some partners that the page that we power is much more content oriented and brand oriented, and not necessarily deal and offer and coupon. Some additional features, again, this is a first party page, so it sits on the brand's domain. It's the brand's header, the brand's footer, and essentially from a technology standpoint, a blank page that our code populates the content of. And we can personalize content on things like location, search term, cart content, margin, new versus repeat, all of these bullet points that you see here and much, much more. I find weather the most interesting, surprisingly so, especially with certain brands. We can identify that, hey, I'm in Atlanta and it might be sunny out today, but 5 days from now there's rain in the forecast, and I'm maybe on a clothing and apparel website that has a sale on umbrellas. So we can engage the customer and say, hey, there's rain in your forecast. Do you have an umbrella? Do you need an umbrella? We've seen some interesting upticks in impulse buying with tactics like that, which is really fun to do. And again, very strong SEO rankings, and again, can be supported with SEM if the brand chooses to do so. Once we started kind of going with this and we started gaining some traction, brands then approach us about extending this personalization experience across their whole customer journey. So can you do this on a product page? Can you do this on a category page? Can you do this in the shopping cart, so on and so forth? And the answer now is yes, we can. Based on what the customer is doing, maybe what they're shopping for, any goals and objectives that the brand might have, we can engage the customer in a number of different ways to try to improve the experience of the customer, but more importantly, try to drive incremental revenue. So in this image here that you see with HP, for example, there are these little widgets that say boost and save, and there's this little gamification that we have magnified over here based on that's triggered based on what the customer adds their configuration, their computer. So what we're trying to do is get customers to upgrade, memory, upgrade RAM, and things of that nature. And when they reach a certain point, we unlock additional savings for the brand. Now, this, of course, all looks like it's coming from HP, but it's actually coming from our code, our technology. This is a partnership with HP, of course, but it's our technology that's powering it. Then we can do simple things and basic things, which quite frankly are our most common approach, where a customer might be, let's say we're targeting somebody in New York, or targeting customers in New York, or maybe a certain region in the Northeast. If they have a certain product or category in their cart of a certain dollar value, then they might simply see something very basic like this, a little button that shows up near the checkout button, or the continue button, or if there's a coupon code box, and if they click on it, then they'll get a light box that appears that conveys to them some type of value statement. And in this case, again, there's no special code or discount or anything like that. We're just letting the customer know that there's free shipping opportunities and thresholds that they might want to take advantage of. We can do things in these scenarios that involve product recommendations, cross-selling, increasing basket size by bundling and things of that nature. So you can really, use your imagination how this technology can engage the customer, and we can, in most cases, accommodate. And then again, there's other scenarios here where we might have for certain products or certain categories, buttons or widgets or modals that appear under certain scenarios that look like they're part of the page, to again try to get that individual, that one customer, to engage with a certain product or a certain category if we're trying to push inventory or increase margin, things of that nature. Some other features, personalized exit intent messaging as well. So some brands this works really well with, other brands will want to test and see if it works well with, because not all brands are created equal, as we know, and sometimes exit intent messaging can do more harm than good. So you have to be very, very tactful and very, very careful and test in a very intelligent way to determine whether or not traditional exit intent is going to work for the brand. If it does work for the brand, it tends to work really well. If it doesn't, we know that very, very quickly. We can do, again, one-to-one personal offers and deals. We can incorporate gift cards with these as well to try to get customers to do a little bit more. And then basic overlays and notifications as well. These can be prompted by the customer or unprompted, depending on what the brand wants. So if there's certain promotions or deals that you want customers to be aware of, we can help evangelize that across the site or in the checkout. Or if there's deals and offers or inventory that you want to move, but you can only move certain inventory to for certain customers, this comes in really handy as well, because it's a way to market to those customers without marketing to the masses. Urgency and gamification is something that is becoming more and more popular, especially with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So probably a little too close to Cyber Monday and Black Friday to do something like this with folks on the phone now. But maybe for 2021 planning, something like this around any of the holidays, around any of the seasonal peaks is really, really effective. Again, all of this can be personalized based on just targeting specific customers. And I had already alluded to the weather targeting, so I won't go into that again, but this is a really interesting offer, really interesting tactic for some brands, especially during the change of seasons where the weather can vary drastically across the country. And then last but certainly not least, our Reward product, which is a gift card type of play. So what we can do is, again, based on what the customer is doing, if we want the customer to try to do a little bit more with the brand, we can present them with an e-gift card. In many cases for the brand, if the brand offers e-gift cards, and other scenarios, if it makes sense, generic, e-gift cards like Visa or something along those lines. But in most cases, what we do, if a brand is shopping on your site and we want to improve repeat purchases, we can leverage the brand's own e-gift cards, try to get the customer to buy a little bit more from the brand. In exchange, we'll give you a $5 e-gift card for your next purchase. That whole tactic. But again, we can do it at a very, very targeted basis. So it's not something that spreads too drastically or goes viral. We find that this works really, really well to increase basket size, but also to increase repeat purchases and ultimately the lifetime value of the customer. So these are the three core products that we talked about today. They're very flexible. I just shared a few examples of how they could be deployed and how they can be used, but again, very customizable. We can kind of accommodate pretty much anything that a brand wants to do. Heading into 2020, we've developed some intelligence on our back end that we call Rev Intelligence. We're very original with our names. We just throw Rev in front of everything. So Rev Intelligence for 2021 is going to power a whole portfolio of product offerings for our clients. I won't read all of these off here, and these are going to be released throughout the course of 2021, not all simultaneously. The most exciting, in my opinion, feature that is going to be released is going to be a client-facing portal where if you want to self-serve, use our technology and you don't want an account team and you just kind of want to run this on your own, you'll have a full self-serve portal where you can create content rules and things of that nature to run and deploy your own campaigns. So I'm really excited about that because I think there's a lot of opportunity for brands that don't necessarily want to run with the technology nonstop year round, but might have targeted seasonal spurts where they want to create a campaign, run it for a few months or a few weeks, and then put it on pause. Commercials, very, very simple. There's no integration needed, and therefore there's no integration fee with Pepperjam advertisers. We typically don't charge setup fees in most cases, unless there's some type of custom integration that is required due to the brand's e-commerce platform. But again, none of that is applicable for Pepperjam clients. We do ask that partners sign an insertion order or statement of work. Is probably more appropriate of a document name for what we have people sign, which simply agrees to the scope of work that we're doing. And a 3-month commitment is all that we ask for. We consider this a test phase, or a pilot period. If we can't prove our value in the first 3 months of our partnership, then there's certainly no need to continue with us. And we operate strictly on commissions for confirmed sales, just like any traditional publisher. So there's very, very little risk, no integration required, no long-term commitment, and we only get paid if we actually drive sales. Again, if we feel, or if the brand feels that we aren't adding value to the program and to the brand overall, then there's no commitment to continue. Onboarding, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We usually have a strategy call or a kickoff call after, of course, a couple of exploratory calls to dig into, the company and what we do and how we do it a little bit more. Following that, we'll have a kickoff call with an account team member. From there, with the Pepperjam team to get the tag activated, which typically happens within a business day, in many cases even less. Our team is then engaged to do the design work. So our account team engages our design team, and we start designing the look, the feel, the experience. We share all of the design work with the clients through a third-party platform called Envision, which you have the ability to see what the mock-ups look like, make comments, make requests for changes, things of that nature. We confirm the offer strategy or campaign strategy if it's not necessarily offer focused with the brand. And then once everybody is happy with the build and the strategy that we have in place, we get final approval and we go live. We offer, again, continuous dedicated support that's introduced very early in the process. There's going to be weekly calls, monthly performance reviews, everything that you would expect from an affiliate partnership. Incremental testing and reporting is extremely important to conduct. Sometimes we need some coordination with brands in order to do this appropriately, but it's really the best way that we can determine value is being delivered, and quite frankly, the best way a brand can determine that value is being delivered. So this is a very important process for us. And then the rest of this presentation, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, just shows some of the clients that we work with, along with some case studies and testimonials. Big Leaves, one of our longest clients at this point, gave us a great named testimonial. Again, I'll make sure everybody has this presentation, so if you'd like to read through them a little bit more, you're of course more than welcome to. We had some great campaigns running with them, 28% increase in average order value relative to standard on-site performance, and we doubled their conversion rate against the affiliate program average. HP, which again is one of our longer running partnerships, we continue to see fantastic results with them, and we continue to engage in more and more campaigns across all of their geographies and all of their websites. Harvey Nichols, a luxury brand in the UK. This kind of to illustrate that we don't have to work with just brands that are focused on discounting and coupons and deals. We can work with luxury and higher end, or frankly just brands that maybe offer everyday low price type of pricing, so they don't have offers and deals. It's all about marketing 101 and all about customer engagement with our technology, so we can certainly accommodate. And then again, with the Pepperjam partnership, no integration required, no agreements outside of the affiliate network, with the exception of agreeing to the statement of work, which isn't a contract. It's more of a, yes, this is the work I've asked you to do, and that's about it. At this point, I think what I will do is I will turn it over to the audience and Sean to see if there are any questions or clarifications that I can make.
Thank you, Jim. Great presentation. Guys, everybody who's on the line, please don't hesitate to submit some questions. We don't have any yet, Jim, but let's see what comes in the next few minutes.
Sure. And while we wait and give people some time to think if they have any questions or type some questions, a couple of common questions that I get revolve around integration. I think I've probably hit that one enough now, and that there is no integration that is required. But to go into a little bit more detail, we do have a tag that sits on traditionally on a brand's website to deliver this content. That same technology, that same tag is simply activated and sitting within the Pepperjam master tag. So it's essentially installed and activated by Pepperjam. So if there's any questions or thoughts around how does that work? How does Pepperjam control the Revlifter technology? That's how it's done. It's essentially through that tag. Another common question that I get quite often is the commission payout. Quite often I'm asked, are there special commission rates that a brand has to agree to, or are there higher rates that a brand has to agree to? I'd say 80 to 90% of the time we operate at the default rates. We don't need an increase. There are some scenarios if a commission rate is really low and an average order value is really low, we might need to ask for a bump in commission. But again, in most cases, we're happy to work within the default commission structure as well.
We missed the opportunity to call this a webinar next time for the next one.
Oh, well done. Well, see, Sean, this is why you do what you do. Webinar.
Well, thank you so much. Let's wait another minute or so and see if anything comes in. Guys, if you do have questions that for some reason you might not want to ask on the line today, there's an email address right there on that slide. Please reach out to Jim and take it one-to-one. And Jim, let's see if anything comes in the next minute.
Yeah, and what I'll do for those people that are, since we're hanging around for a minute, for those people that care to stay on the line and just see if any questions come through, so we don't have boring dead air. Let me get a video playing here of something, one of the more interesting tactics that we have, and I'll just kind of walk through it. It's very, very short, and then at the end of this video, if there's still no questions, then we'll call it a weekend. But what you're seeing here is one of our campaigns with HP. I'll put it on a larger screen, where they had asked us to try to help them get customers to buy high yield ink cartridges. So they sell two different ink cartridges, more than two, but one's low yield and one's high yield. The low yield come in around $20 some odd. The high yield are almost double, sometimes more than double the price. And they had a hard time getting people to upgrade. So what we did is, if we saw somebody shopping around for ink cartridges and they filtered by price and simply selected the lowest priced product ink cartridge to their cart, when they continued to their cart, our technology would read it in real time. And this little light box is us right here. And we basically let the customer know, hey, you've added this ink cartridge to your shopping cart. But did you know that if you spend a little bit more money, you're actually saving much, much more? There's no discount, there's no coupon code. We're just doing this dynamically in real time. And then if the customer clicks replace item in cart, we refresh the page for the customer, remove the other item, and replace it with a higher value item. And so the conversion rate on that engagement was exceptionally high. I think we're averaging upwards of 60%. So I only show this to you, now, because it's not kind of a basic example that we would have in the presentation, but I just want to give people an idea of the flexibility and how dynamic the technology can be based on what a brand's goals or objectives are. So there you go. That was a little treat, if you want to call it that. I don't know.
Thank you, Jim. All right, it looks like that's going to wrap it up for us. No questions. It must have been very thorough during this presentation.
All right. Well, thanks, Sean, for coordinating this and Pepperjam. Thank you again for having me. Everyone that was able to join, thank you for your time, and I hope everyone has a good weekend and a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Jim. And everybody, just keep in mind, you'll be getting a thank you email with the recording. You should expect that on Monday. So thanks again, everybody. Stay safe and healthy, and have a great weekend. Thank you, Jim.